What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of the monthly check-in. Today we're going to be discussing self-investments, the reasons why investing in yourself as a music maker can really go the distance over the course of your career. Starting as soon as possible is really the best thing you can do, and I'll just be touching on my own experience with that. But as always, let's get into my 3 monthly picks, 3 tracks I think you guys should be checking out for the month of May. First up, we have a new one from producer Kalen Ellis, obviously someone I've highlighted several times on this segment. He dropped a new track featuring Madison McFerrin and Sweta, two amazing individuals. This one is called Hello Morning, and it's quickly becoming one of Kalen's biggest songs on social media and just in general. I think it hit 50,000 streams within like a week or so, which is crazy. And Kalen is continuing to build his sound and his style through doing different things on social media in general, doing his streams every day. And he's just one of my favorite producers overall and somebody that I look up to a lot and really just love his sound. And this song is a very heartfelt record. I think this one is going to be a part of his album that he's going to be dropping really soon. He dropped the track with Mick Jenkins and Saba at the end of the year in 2025. So this is really one of his first songs he's dropped since then. Definitely more on the R&B side because we have 2 singers featured on this thing. And I think I made a comment on the post about this song the week before it came out, and I said, I never thought I'd hear Sweta on a Kalen beat, but it made total sense. Absolute genius. And Sweta does his thing on the hook for this song. And then Madison just coming in, doing like the bridge and adding some background melodies and doing a very beautiful outro as well. It's a match made in heaven all the way around. I think this song is incredible. And so I'd say anybody that loves Kalen's sound, if you're not familiar, go check it out regardless. But if you're a fan of obviously Madison McFerrin or Sweta, you're going to want to tap in with this one too. So once again, this one is called Hello Morning. It's by Kalen Ellis featuring Madison McFerrin and Sweta, and it's out on all platforms. Next up, we have a track called Mims, also known as Make It Make Sense, and it's by legendary producer and artist Oddisee and one of my favorite artists over the last year or so, Heno. And they're actually doing a collaboration album that by the time this is out, the album should be out. I think it comes out April 30th. And I believe it's called From Tacoma with Love. Could be wrong on that title, but it's something along the lines of that. It's an ode to Tacoma Park, Maryland, which is where they are both from. And this is a very interesting collaboration because Heno, I don't think a lot of people are super hip to him yet, but he's obviously someone that's worked with Mad Keys, worked with JPEG Mafia, been on a very consistent run over the last 10 years, and someone that I actually had the chance to work with last year, and I'm very excited to share that record with you guys real soon. But Oddisee is obviously someone who's kind of the polar opposite. He has a huge track record, very well known in the underground community, very well known in the hip-hop community as a producer and an artist. But the sounds just mesh very well together, and I think it's going to be interesting to see how this album sounds because at the time of this recording, this album's not out, so I haven't heard it yet, but this song is a great teaser, a great first offering, and it showcases Oddisee's very unique production style, mixed with obviously his vocals, which we've heard many times over the years, Oddisee rapping on his own beats, but Heno fits this vibe absolutely perfectly. And this record is a very feel-good record. I felt like I had a new boost of energy after listening to this song. And I felt like it was the exact example of how 2 artists that had never worked together before could come together and do something incredible. So I'm very thrilled to see what this album has in store. Obviously, I think how this connection happened is Heno went on tour with Oddisee and Good Company and Mad Keys last year overseas, and I think from there they ended up making the album probably during the process of the tour and a little bit after the tour. But this is very exciting, and it's honestly, from what I can tell, this isn't something Oddisee would always do. So I think Oddisee really has to be feeling good about, working with Heno and who Heno is as an artist. And I think that says a lot about what Heno is doing for Oddisee to do something like this, which, like I said, he doesn't really do. To me, Most of the time he's just doing solo albums and solo stuff nowadays. So to do a full collaboration with another artist, and Odyssey is producing the whole album and rapping on it, it's like that's almost unheard of. But I think this could end up being not only the collaboration album of the year, but maybe one of my favorite albums of the year in general. So again, this song is called Mims, which it stands for Make It Make Sense. It's out now on all platforms by Odyssey and Heno. And finally, we have the return of one of my personal favorite producers and MCs, Detroit native Black Milk. He released a track called Crash Test Dummy. It's the first single from his brand new album that's coming really soon. And the name of the album escapes me, but he's already announced the title of this project. And hopefully it will be out very soon. It might even be out by the time this drops. I don't really know. But very excited for Black Milk's return. Everybody Good, his 2023 released album. That was his last solo project. Amazing album. I've been really anticipating his next solo drop ever since then. But he did a collab with Fat Ray last year, and he's put out some beat tapes here and there over the last couple of years. So, he hasn't just disappeared, but it's great to get his solo records as well. Someone that gets a lot of credit for combining like genre clashing, jazz, electronic, hip hop, soul, all kinds of stuff. Like I feel like Black Milk can do it all, and he does it all very well. I feel like some people that dabble into different genres, they don't always do it at a high level. I felt like Black Milk, every time he does a new sound or a new endeavor, he does it at a high level. So a lot of respect for him. And this song is no different. This song feels like the beginning of a new chapter for Black Milk. So I'm excited to see what this album has in store. Again, kind of like Mims, like I was talking about, very high energy, very much a record that gets you motivated, gets you ready to go for the day. I've been listening to this a lot on my way to work in the morning, on my playlist rotation. So definitely give this one a listen. If you're not even familiar with Black Milk, he's been doing it for 20 plus years now as an MC and a producer. So get tapped in and stay on the lookout for his new album coming real soon. Again, Crash Test Dummy by Black Milk, out now. Go check it out. All right, today's topic is something I'm shocked I haven't really touched on in the past, at least on this segment, and that is self-investment. Going as far as to say investing in yourself as a musician, probably the most important thing that you can do in general. I always think of the phrase, if you don't believe in yourself and what you're doing, why is anybody else going to believe in you and what you're doing? And it's been that way for me, since the beginning. I think I started out as someone that, kind of similar to most younger people, you're looking for, not necessarily handouts, but you're looking for people to do everything for you or do a lot more for you than what they're gonna actually do. And you kind of learn the hard way that nobody really cares about what you're doing, especially starting out. You have to put in the legwork on your own. And the thing about it is, the more that you learn how to do and the more time and yes, money, you're gonna have to put up money that you put into yourself, the more results you're gonna get later on. And for me, I'm 10 years in at this point as far as making music, and about 7 to 8 years into the content journey. And I can safely say that each year it's been getting a little bit better as far as, people are seeing what I'm doing, what I've been putting out, and it's finally starting to catch up where people are trying to take notice, or, at least taking notice to an extent. And from there, I'm getting a lot more opportunities that way. But it didn't just happen overnight. It didn't just happen day one. And I can distinctly remember still, back in 2017, sending my tracks with J Trey that we did for his first mixtape. I was sending them to Underground Hip Hop and all these other blogs, and just getting ghosted or just getting no responses or anything like that. But I think what I didn't understand is that, I needed to kind of focus my energy into building my own platform and my own story and my own voice, as opposed to always wanting different things to happen from other people. And another thing I didn't realize is that the quality was not there. Like, I look back on that quality of music and I'm like, yeah, this wasn't very good. You know what I mean? So it's a mix of both, I think. I think you have to be willing to do a lot of work yourself, but also get better at your craft, because you can't just throw the highest level of blogs, any type of music, and expect to be featured. I mean, some of the best don't even get featured with what they're doing just based on the volume of song submissions and things like that. And I keep that in mind for anything, whether it's sending for a Spotify playlist or trying to get on a podcast or whatever. But you want to kind of present yourself in a way where it's like you believe in yourself and you show people why what you're doing matters and why what you have to offer means something. And from there, then they will start to buy in. And obviously, I've talked before about working with the right people, aligning yourself with the right people, and that will also help you as well. I also want to touch on this from the financial side of things, actually putting up money, like I mentioned earlier. A big thing I've been focusing on this year is literal investments. So investing in, the actual stock market, things like that, trying to build a financial future. I'm focused more on saving than spending nowadays. And a lot of that might have to do with just me getting older. And it's crazy because I've never felt more old than when I'm saying to you, I'm focusing on investing in stocks and things like that. And that's obviously a whole nother story. But I say all that to say, if you really want to have the freedom to take your craft seriously as a musician and also have money to be able to fund your art, if you don't have like an angel investor, which I've never had anyone invest in what I'm doing, I've always put up any type of capital for like my vinyls, for any visuals you see, even the music I'm making, that's all funded by me individually. So again, it goes back to you have to align your goals and really get strict about what do I want out of this and start kind of putting that into practice. So for me, I'm in that transition of like my life has changed a lot in the last 10 years and I'm starting to get more serious about myself financially. I have a job and I'm still freelancing and doing things like that, but I'm trying to align my money for the long term so that way I can always have money to invest in my career and what I'm doing musically. And that's a decision that I'm making personally. I'm not saying you have to do that, but I say that to say, get really serious about what kind of goals you have and the ways that you can align your personal life and your life as a creative to fund kind of like, one hand washes the other, both wash the face type thing. Like you want to have everything kind of working in somewhat unison for you. And obviously life's not perfect. Things will change. Things will come up unexpectedly. But you got to try to be as prepared as possible for that. So I think on the money side of things, unfortunately, we're in that world where you need some type of money to fund your art or to be an artist. And that's just is how it is. I wish it wasn't that way. And I always, look to support organizations and individuals that are providing opportunities for people to be able to do art without a lot of money. But at the end of the day, you still need some type of funds to be able to do this. And, that's just where I'm at. I'm trying to focus on keeping everything as straightforward and narrow as possible, really get clear about my goals creatively and personally, and just move from there and see where it goes. So I just wanted to touch on that today. I think it's very important to keep in mind. And it's something that can affect you in your different areas of your own life, just as a whole. But yeah, I will always double down with saying investing in yourself is the most important investment you can make. And let me know in the comments, how have you guys been doing this? Even if it's not on the money side, how are you investing your time into yourself, but into others around you? And how has that in turn helped you as a creative over the last few years? I'm very excited to hear what you guys have to say and what your takes are on this. So before we get out of here, a couple different things to touch on. This month, I'm dropping the second single from Mural of a Sober Introvert. This one is called Intricate Symptoms. So very excited to release this. I think it's going to be out, I don't know off the top of my head the specific release date, but I think it's the first week of May. So by the time this is out, the song will probably be out. So I'm just going to throw it in the description of this video for you guys to hear. I want to thank everybody that's been supporting Lost Letter. I dropped last month, and everybody that checked out my collaboration with Cessflow called The Process. We did a 10-track project that we dropped last month. Very excited that you guys have been supporting that and enjoying that. And yeah, second single from Mural of a Sober Introvert is going to be out this month, so check that out. I also don't think I've touched on this quite yet, but a big place that I'm going to be pushing and supporting, or not really supporting, but making you guys aware of is my Bandcamp page. And the big reason for that is I've worked really hard over the last couple of months to complete the back catalog over there, because initially I just had my solo work up there, and I've made it now to where I have at least the ones I own full rights on. I've made it so that all of my collaboration projects with other artists are up there too now, and I'm gonna make that the primary place where I push music moving forward. So a lot of what you see from me coming soon, with the exception of this next instrumental album, because that is going to be an even early release again. But from then on out, it's probably going to be mostly focused on Bandcamp. So it's anthonychurch.bandcamp.com. I'll put my profile right here for you guys to check out if you want. And then it'll be in the description of the video. But that is going to be primarily where I'm going to be pushing people to go check out the stuff. You can support it. You can still listen to it, stream it if you want, but I kind of just want to, I talked earlier about narrowing that vision, narrowing that focus. I'm trying to keep people focused on what I'm doing specifically and the mission and the goals I have. So this is where it's all going to be going down. You can hear everything that I've already released and get ready for a lot of things coming up very soon. So yeah, check out the Bandcamp. I know I said a couple things, but one thing I just remembered. This month, speaking of Bandcamp, on May 29th, I'm going to be releasing my collaboration EP with Elijah Russian that's called Clouds Volume 1. And I am very thrilled for this one. I had Elijah on the podcast about almost a year ago at this point. That's how we met initially. He is from Canton, Ohio, which is only like 20 minutes away from me. And I've really enjoyed being able to work with him on music since then. And this is going to be our first offering, 4 tracks for you guys. We're aiming to break this up into 3 different volumes. And we've talked about maybe putting one out every year for the next few years. But for now, this is what it's going to be to start. And it's high quality raps, high quality production. We got a feature from Quan, another great local artist in Canton, Ohio as well. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this one. It'll be up for pre-order on May 22nd on my Bandcamp, and it'll be available everywhere on the 29th. Well, I say everywhere. It'll be available on Bandcamp on the 29th. It'll be available on all platforms sometime in June, but just wanted to let you guys know about that. That is the next project that I got coming out in a few weeks, so be on the lookout. And as always, I thank you guys for tuning in for another edition of Monthly Check-In. I can talk, I swear. We'll be back this time next month with another new edition. Thanks again for checking out all the new music. And as always, stay safe, stay positive, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.